Okay, agreeing. So which one is? All right. I guess the Pleiadians have a message, so they're here probably because of what's going on with the country imploding. So yeah, it ain't looking great. So yeah, I wasn't looking for I didn't call them in. They're here, which is not normal, so that's good. So yeah, it goes. I'm getting this right now. It goes back into like the history of the United States, the alien energies that were assisting us, things like that. I guess we've been through worse situations, you can say. Anyway, there's different perspectives of it, but anyway. The White Rabbit, so the Palladian Time Lord energy, I would say that's going back in the past, but also the White Rabbit energy is, connected to weirdness. We are the year of the rabbit. So I haven't seen the rabbit really. This is kind of cryptic. I haven't seen the rabbit energy really engage, you can say. I guess it's still early. Well, the month technically just began. The year just began. So it just like the white rabbit energies. It's kind of like all over the place. Kind of nuts that we're seeing that. So, but also time travel energy. Johnny Darko type of rabbit, a rabbit from the future. I guess I should have put that in the title, but that's that energy. It was going to be like ASMR aliens. Yeah, if you look up, I was going to put that in the title, but it's kind of misleading because I'm not going to do ASMR. But you look up ASMR aliens, you'll find some creepy stuff. Somebody got abducted, or they have an alien abducting people. He's wearing an alien costume. Like, that's creepy. That's not going to help in the My Lab people that remember being. Anyway, I guess that's one way of healing it too. But also, they show a girl like dressed up as an alien, which is interesting because she's channeling those energies. Is she fully aware of what she's tapping into? Probably to some level. And also, so the thumbnail of this is, if I remember pronouncing that, Erasure, whatever. It's erase from your memory, basically. Erasure. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. So yeah, it's like erasing a spot from your memory. So that comes from Eternal Sunshine. The spotless mind, basically, they have a relationship erased from their minds. And you kind of go through that through Jim Carrey. You go through Jim Carrey's experience of going through his memories and watching them all be erased and have them collapse. People with no faces, things like that. Kind of like a horror movie, you can say. Not necessarily a romantic movie, more like a horror movie, but spoil where it is. It just shows like you can erase somebody from your mind, but you'll still run into them. They'll still connect them if there's a reason for it. If there's something there between two people. So that was the positive side of the end of it. It's like you can erase each other, you can do whatever you want, you'll still find each other again. Because the idea is erase each other and never see each other again. But they ended up finding each other again. So it's quite. It is like a lot of mental screw, going to the mind and screwing around with that. So I'm just not pronouncing that right. I'll probably pronounce it fine when I'm off. When I'm off live, I'll probably pronounce it better. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of a coded, kind of a cryptic title there. Where are we going with all this? Yeah. So the future, yeah, it doesn't look so great. Yeah, it's funny how we go from a banking, turmoil that's like on ice right now, and now we're going to, destruction of the country. So that's great. I mean, it's not going to be the end of everything. It's just it's not looking great. It's not looking good for society in general. What we get into the future, not much. We're not getting much. Here we go. It's all broken up, and not much of a future there, but we'll survive. But it just shows that corruption. Yeah, we're no different than any other third world country, unfortunately. So, yeah, where it's going is, I don't know. Sometimes see some people that can tap into the future. All depends, but it depends on your relationship with the Earth, and like, are you going to keep coming back here over and over and over again? And that's your deal, but some people don't want that. You don't need to see everything. Let's put it that way. I know some people want to see the future, but they can't handle their own lives. So they keep hoping things will get better. The future U.S. isn't looking so good. Yeah, and digital currencies, I don't know. We still have a long. The U.S. isn't. I don't feel like at least the government doesn't want it, unless they can rule everybody's digital currency. So like the dollar is kind of the dominant energy. So why give up on that? Unless they can find some way where the U.S. digital currency will be the dominant dollar. Because if that's not going to happen, goodbye USA. It's not going to be the same anymore. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, it's not bleak. It's just it's it's not what some people thought it was going to be. Let's put it that way. The fantasy delusional world might be not what people want. So, yeah. Well, that's a lesson and all of that. All right. Let's see. I always want to comment private sessions. I have the scheduler. We have the shop here. Webinar, social network, behind the scenes. Akashic, and and this is that's where everything is right now. Not everything, but good enough for right now. I haven't had much time to upload new stuff, but majority of my library is on there right now, which is a big deal. Even if it's all mixed up, at least it's somewhere. Okay, so the Pleiadian energy is tapping into the past, the U.S. and wherever it needs to go into. I just feel like they want to tap into the past. It's the only thing I'm getting from them. Also, White Rabbit is a positive energy, and also a psychedelic bizarreness. Adds a lot of layers to that. Yeah. The cats are nuts. It's funny. The rabbits are very kind of tame, I guess. Well, when they're in their cages, they are, but they're kind of crazy. And erase from your memory. We'll just call it that. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot where I was going with all that. Yeah, one thing about Jim Carrey, it doesn't, I don't know, I get the vibe he doesn't fit. I know he's in this, but it was almost like he doesn't belong here. I mean, he's here, but I guess people that kind of know him too. It's like, it's like a role. I mean, he's good in this, but like, it's almost like he doesn't even need to be here. So something about him doesn't feel like he fits into this. Yeah, she fits it perfectly, but not him. It's very bizarre there. But anyway. Yeah, probably because the character is nothing like him. I'm fine without you. Would you erase me? I don't know you. So, yeah, and that's one of the dream sequences. And yeah, keep moving him around a lot. Yeah. So this is all. It basically just spends most of it just laying there, but of course he's moving around doing other things too. Also, yeah, there's the being, and yeah, this is yeah, Erasure is active erasing, deleting, or removing something. And there you go. You can make your own cards. It's like erase from this person has been erased from my memory. Please never mention their relationship to anyone ever again. You can even make your own cards. So, I don't know. Yeah, this came out like 2000, 2002. I remember when it came out, but I never seen it. I just saw it recently. So, yeah. So, oh, yeah. So the reason for the spotless mind, that's the other thing about that, is that it came from the director of, like, the director came up with this idea of erasing someone from your mind. Most likely it came from some kind of reality where you can actually do that. Now, how successful that is another story. So that's another reason why I'm bringing it up. Is yeah, if you're meant to connect with someone, you will, no matter how many times you erase them from your timeline. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. You just whatever. There's different perspectives with that. So anyway, all right, we're going to Pleiadian Time Lord energies, the White Rabbit, and erasing from your mind. And Fritzy's here. The cats are here. You can't see them, but they're trying to get ready to take their 24-hour nap, or it's a 14-hour nap. Of course, they probably run around at night. I never hear them too much. So anyway, okay, all right, we're going to Pleiadians. All right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. We're the Pleiadians from the future. Well, yes, we're also connected to your past. We're kind of implanted into your Earth's energy. Our race of people took advantage of humans in the past and became lost just as humans. So we're saying that our star seeds that are here, in your ancient times, were more lost than your humans. Like as many of you know, some of you are connected to your alien lifetimes, and you kind of feel like you're so disconnected from society. And so that happened in the past also. Now, were they aware of their alien connection? They just knew that they were not from this world. They understand it. As for the creation of the United States, it was, yes, there's also, people from that part of the United States being created, they come from another world, you can say, reality where this has been done before. And it's just basically, it's like nation building, you can say. And there are settlers that start when things are very harsh, and then you have it when living conditions improve, but continued vibrations. Of course, many that incarnated during the beginning of the U.S. to continue to incarnate to keep the blood of the U.S. going. And now you see the corruption, which was inevitable. Of course, the corruption was always here through the banking systems. No surprise to any of you. And the banking systems are showing more of their true colors. Yes, what they do to other countries. This country is technically no different. Yes, its freedoms are a lot more radical in a good way. But it just shows how alien the United States truly is. And some of you, it doesn't mean you tap into a Pleiadian life, but you tap into wherever you come from, of nation building in a good way. That's about world domination. Of course, the U.S. is used for world domination, but was never intended for that. Of course not. The idea of the U.S. was for it to connect with, not to take over Mexico. Of course, yes, it did a lot of things it probably should not have done during the Mexican Wars. But the idea was for it to be friends with Mexico. You can say technically it was in the past until it became more weaponized. Well, the idea was to bring more prosperity to Mexico also. It's like U.S. becomes prosperous, Mexico becomes prosperous. Obviously, the elite systems here, we're not interested in that, but that was the intention. Of course, the U.S. can only, can't save the world, but Mexico is a neighbor, and the idea was what to keep that. Yes, different, for it to be, independent, but also not the way it is with all the immigrant situations. That was never, yeah, because Mexico has been heavily weaponized against the U.S. to take down the U.S. through crimes and things of that kind, through the banking cartel energies, of course. But as a Pleiadian frequency or as an alien energy in general, many of you can say you saw this was coming, and that's why you're here to help elevate the frequency so that it's less heavy on the people. And you can say technically that's happening. You can't always see the full impact of what you're bringing to this reality. But some wonder why you came here. This is one of the reasons why. Yes, to see a bumpy road in the future. The idea is for this country to survive, no matter what happens to it. Yes, it might not be as strong as it used to be, and nothing ever lasts forever. But the idea for the life of the country to still be there, if many aren't always going to see it. So some of you can probably tap into those energies. So this is a galactic mission, you can say. And it's subtle. It's not as exciting as it is on other incarnations. We're out in space. Yes, talking to reptilian beings, seeing dinosaurs being cloned, and making friends with a dinosaur. Of course, your world is like scratching your head. What are you talking about? But there's like a kind of alien realms are kind of cartoonish on your world. Yes, because they're fourth and fifth dimensional energies. It just, yes, life is easier. It's not perfect. It still has its issues. It's just things are faster in your world. Yes, everything is very slow. Obviously, too slow for many of you, but it helps slow your frequency down so you can ground with it. It's slow to keep the agendas going. Yeah, it's so slow. The manipulators know exactly what they're doing. That's why the manipulators here are so patient. Because the alien people incarnate here want things to happen fast, and the manipulators of reality want everything to happen slow. Patience beyond patience beyond patience. Because they know people lose their patience and lose their cool. And so to be a master elitist is to really take time with everything. So some of you are learning that the hard way. It's like you're going fast and you hit the brakes. So, but yes, some of you are connected to George Washington time, the Abraham Lincoln time period. Yes, and that's that blood, that DNA of that time is still with many of you. And yes, that would be nice if your Americans would tap in more into that. To remember, because yes, many of them are obviously, they are kind of copies of themselves. They're evolved, but they have echoes of the past. Without going into all details of that, some of you kind of understand where I'm getting at. So, this is. Greetings to you. This is the consciousness of the white rabbit. Yes, time traveling energy. Yes, snarky energies. Beings, yes, we are more of a six-dimensional frequency. Yes, we can slow down to Earth's frequency. Do we want to? No, we need to. It's not always a purpose for it. Obviously, maybe humans are incarnating here constantly. Are used to it. You get used to it. It's like rowing a boat. You get used to it. Of course, your alien people that are here want to, yes, fly. Want to re-engineer your bows into a flying device. We're still waiting for that to happen, actually. So while we are here, yes, the white rabbit or the rabbit energies are still getting used to Earth's frequency. Yes, basically, we have not shown our true colors or our true presence here. It doesn't mean you're going to see a bunch of rabbit people in your skies. That would be absolutely hilarious if we did, but not likely. The rabbit frequency, some of you have dealt with this for better or for worse. Rabbit beings are also known to be trickster beings, as you can see with Bugs Bunny, but it's also for a laugh too. But some people are just not laughing. We're just not that well known, at least in your galactics, for obvious reasons. Sometimes some eventually more canine beings like rabbit people become more is it that relevant here in this reality as of yet? Your society has not fully awakened to itself, let alone your aliens energies. There's little glimpses here and there. People dress up like a rabbit for Halloween or a dog or whichever. It doesn't mean you have to do that, but some people is like, I need to be this creature. Well, eventually, yes, your society will go more into an alien aware reality, which will be hilarious, but also terrifying at the same time. Meaning people will start dressing up like alien beings, galactic people, be a fashion trend. Doesn't mean people will dress up like rabbits, but they might have like a tattoo or some kind of symbol on their clothing to recognize what they're coming from. Yes, you think you're confused now. Wait till your collective starts tapping all this stuff. The genders are all over the place right now. Nobody knows who they are anymore. You look in the mirror and say, what gender am I? Just guess. If you guess wrong, well, you'll figure it out eventually. Maybe. Well, you're obviously male and female energies are all mixed in together. And yeah, some females absolutely detest the male and so on. And so then it was, oh God, I have male DNA. It's like, oh gosh, get that out of it's actually happening like that here. So if people really knew what they were connected to, they'd be freaking out. Of course, if they're connected to canine DNA, rabbit DNA, and all these bizarre alien DNA, of course. Pleiadian, of course, there's more than just a Pleiadian energy. There's all these crazy different species. A turtle, you see the turtle people, some of them. As you get some turtle DNA, you can be very, very, maybe too slow. Go so patient. Too patient. That's one way to slow things up. Some of you have this alien DNA, so yeah, you want to go rocket through this reality, which you have in previous lifetimes. So why some of you are here is just to slow things down. Doesn't mean you have to master this reality, but you master your own reality, your own existence, figuring out what you came here for. Oh, a lot of it's just to be yourself, just to unmask yourself when the time's right. Yes, you're not always at an age where you need to start knowing more about yourself. Sometimes you need to be 50, 60, or 70 to give it more of an idea of why you even came here. There's reasons. There's no rush for anything. Many humans want to rush things out. They want to go to the utopian world where everything's perfect. Yes, but a lot of those worlds don't survive. And then you end up here. Some of you come to this world, chaos planet. We're going to go to utopian world. Then you go there and you bring your chaos energy there. And then that utopia is now no more. Then you come back here. So what did I do wrong? And some go there to utopian world and then come back here. They keep going back and forth. Some of you might not everybody's like that, but some people are. Those are complaining about other people's hair and stuff like that, have a lot of insecurity problems and so on. You can bring that to another reality, and many do. They don't realize they're doing it until it's too late. So the utopian perfect reality is no longer perfect. Everybody went somewhere else. And now they have like a copy of your world somewhere else. And some of you probably remember, that's not always a bad thing. It's still less of a negative energy that's on your planet. Your planet has everything. It's a science experiment of how chaotic can we make this world. Oh yes, your presidential situation. You can say it's part of the planet, it's part of the growth of society. It's also for society to stand up. So yeah, see the end of the society, everything's going to fall apart. Humanity says, well, maybe we got to change things a little bit. Okay, well, we'll make sure the world doesn't collapse tomorrow. So it's kind of like a movie, like a cliffhanger. It's like, oh no, the apocalypse, and then, oh, never mind, everything's fine now. That's how your world works. Some of you have some idea of that. Greeks. Okay, say we come from the eraser reality worlds where you don't want us to remember. You do that here to a certain level. Yes, many want to do forget their incarnations on this planet, and sometimes yes, you can do that astrally. But yes, there's some of you. Yes, as a so think like you're on this perfect alien reality. Yes, I guess we use the Pleiadians for example. And then you're living a happy galactic life, and then one day you either interact with a human from this world or see something on a monitor or whatever, and all of a sudden all these memories flood in, and then it's like the horror, you've had human incarnations. Because not all aliens remember. It depends on what reality you go to. Sometimes everyone, and that can be like cause you're in this perfect utopia, the version of it at least, and then you start to feel like you're having a psychotic breakdown. Now some are amazed by it and others are ashamed of it. And some of you probably feel that. So why you come here, some of you are healing that shame of some alien beings that totally went against humans. So that's why some of you are here to kind of like, okay, maybe this isn't so bad. There is good in the human race. Literally, there's many that incarnate here that absolutely detest the human race. Some of you are alien people. Yes, you can raise your hands if you want to. But then you come here to see the good in this world. And then once you figure that out, then you can leave. Now, some might say that, oh, I see the good in the world. Okay, I'm ready to go now. It doesn't work that way. And you also find the good within yourself. There's different ways of looking at it. There's different perspectives. But the mind erasing, yes, there's our worlds where you can literally go to a store, yes, and erase your or office, whatever. Erase a relationship, a job, a childhood, and so on. But yes, sometimes that's successful, and sometimes it comes back like you forget everything else and you just remember what you erased, which makes things even more complicated. Reason we bring it through is for some of you are going to, yes, society still doesn't want to remember. As you know, you're here among humans. A lot of humans here don't remember their alien lifetimes, erased for various different. Someone else erased that. This Earth consciousness was involved with that, and some of you are here to tinker with that, change it for society to start remembering again, and that will cause a lot of chaotic frequencies for sure. I just use the gender energy. The gender confusion is just a small piece of all of this. When society starts remembering it's alien life, or black, or angelic, or Garthian, whichever you want to call it, talk about having a psychotic breakdown. It becomes easier to remember. Now, some are in mental hospitals right now. They remember too much. They can't function in this reality. Some of them are Zeta people. Some are turned mostly Zetas. Yeah, Zetas are known to just self-sabotage themselves. They like learn the art of self-sabotaging. And some of them are drug addicts and stuff. And yeah, so either way. But so many of you are wondering why you're here. Yes, it's to tinker with this Earth's reality so more people can remember themselves on whichever level that is. And it's too much for humans to understand it, but you're changing your frequency. Yeah, obviously, the hardest lesson is when you start opening up these memories and others want their memories, and you're going through that now, but think about on a worldwide level. Eventually, it won't be everybody that wants to remember, but the numbers will definitely increase. And that's gonna, yeah, and some will use technology to try to remember and things like that. Yeah, it's gonna be dense because human energy is so low at this point. So it's gonna drive some people crazy. But over time, as the energies of the earth will loosen up so you can remember more. But it's still a long ways to go. And that's where like your new earth energy and people are seeing. But it's basically it's you're retooling Earth's frequency. That's what most of this is about. So, that's just